So, and I think that, for those of you who don't know, my book is called It All Starts with a Plan, and that's literally, from Grandpa Bob. It worked with you, it worked with me, but the thing you say in the article that he also says, it was something along the lines of like, sometimes good things happen to good people. And, if there's anything that I hope that all of you are taking away from this, sometimes good things happen to good people, but it in this whole conversation, nothing happened to you. It happened for you while you were 3-4 times a day calling and getting no. So like even in the archetype, like, don't take no for an answer. So I guess if that's, can you talk a little more about, how did you know this was like, because no's a good thing. No keeps us from doing a lot, like just doing all kinds of stuff that is not worth our time, not worth our energy, and it is going to be not the right thing for our lives and happiness. It's like even if you're a success, people go out and they're successful in one thing, but they realize, well, I'm not even happy. So I think that's one thing too I always saw in you was like not you were a successful business person, but you were just
elated,
like just like you thrive off of helping those families. You love the kids, you love the teachers, like you love it's and I still remember like when you first got the daycare, like we had a little sit down with me and the brothers, like, you guys are not allowed to mess like these families we got to take care of them. Don't you be partying, don't you be driving like an idiot, don't you just try to embed it in our brains is but I think it was good for us because that was our first introduction is to I guess you always taught us growing up, your actions, your decisions have consequences, good and bad. But just kind of that was the first thing where we started looking at the world from like, how is this going to affect the family business? How is this going to affect mom? How is it going to affect the house? What if we lose the house and kind of thing. So it was a lot of fun. It was very interesting. I think my favorite too is like we all got. It's like we got to work there, but it wasn't like we didn't really have a choice, I guess.
Nepotism is tough.
So, and I guess if we can, is there any? I would like to talk running a business, but also running a business with your kids, and and then even now with your grandkids going there. So like, Miss Faye, love her, like she would always kind of take me, talking about like wind beneath your wings. She always take me under her wings, and be like, she's just like, it's okay, your mom's a little harder on you than she is on everybody. So but I remember I would work 6 a.m. to 6, so daycare's open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I remember I'd come home from college, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. But it was just completely, it was like the first job I had where you saw a crumb on the floor or a wrapper on the floor and you're stop and pick it. So talking too about how when something is your own, what can people, if they're looking to do this crazy, unrealistic, majority of their friends and family are telling them it's not possible, give up, what is it on the other side when it comes to just owning something, but also to working, if it's going to be in a family environment, what have you learned about that?
About the family environment?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to comment on a couple other things real quick, if you don't mind, before I roll into
Go
that.
ahead.
Something that you had mentioned before. How did I know that this was the right move for me?
Yeah, I asked 27 questions, so just pick whatever one you want to answer.
I'm trying to pick them out that I think will be helpful.
Let me bring this question all the way back. Go ahead.
This is something that I feel is very, very important for anybody watching to really understand, grasp, and feel very proud of yourself every moment you are working hard and doing your best. The way you communicate with people, how you perform at your job, how you perform where you're at. You never know who's going to be there. You never know who's going to be connected to somebody just be your best. Put your hand to that job that you've been given at that moment and do it with all your heart. Because what happened to me, I was just tootling along. I didn't finish my college. My life was these guys. Loved them with my entire, there was nothing else for me but these guys. So I raised them, we homeschooled. I was doing some singing. I did the talent shows at the middle school with some friends. But when it came, and I worked very, very hard with my big truck in the middle of the night, so I did gain some be brave skills. When it came time for that daycare, I think I mentioned earlier, it had my name on it. And I really did not sense a hindrance with this number. It just had my name on it. And after it all came together, I inherited the accountant that was working there, and they were wonderful, and the attorney, and God bless Mike Gallagher. Hello, Mike. He was my devil's advocate. He stood by my side, asked questions, went to these meetings with me, and really helped me out as far as being solid. But even the accountant and the attorney, they made so many comments. This is the first time they saw a business change owners. There was not a glitch in the system. We didn't lose a parent. We didn't lose a family. We did not lose a staff member. I was just like the little Cinderella for the golden slipper. And it's just how it felt, and that's how it was. But it's because at that crossroads, I was a perfect person for the job because of everything that I had done up until then. And you never know when that crossroads is going to come your way. Yeah. So
you were what? I think the article said you were 43.
I was 43.
43, yeah.
It was terrifying. And I remember one day, and I would have panic attacks. I tried to be brave, and I was a firm believer that it's okay to have problems in life. Let's talk about them.
Yeah.
And
communicate.
Yes, and as a team, as a family, we're going to work through them together, and we're going to be so proud to see ourselves on the other end. It's so hard. So one day I was holding the door open like this, and 1 kid, 2 kid, 3 kid, and I was telling them, we're going to get through this, and Josiah, the one that always has something to say, he looks at me, he's got his little backpack on, he says, why, Mom? Because you're 43 and you have no college education? What? And I was like, yeah, that's pretty much it. So there you go.
You really said that?
Yeah. Yep. And so he helped
Josiah!
But he helped put things into
Love you, buddy.
words that I was feeling.
Okay.
And what caused me to have the panic attacks. It's like I don't even have anything to go on.
Right.
Now, as far as never taking no for an answer, I had people that adamantly, you will never get a loan. I said, okay. And I knew there could come a moment where I would have to concede to no. However, I was going to find out on my own. Sometimes no, like you said, is a good thing. But in this particular set of circumstances, I just hit that thing from every angle, all the time, all day long. And even my cousin said one time, oh my God, I think she's going to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. But there's been other times in life where I had to go, okay. I researched it to the end, and I believe right now the answer is no.
All right.
Doesn't mean I'm not going to pick it up and find it later. But, yeah, you have to be able to know when it's time.
Gotcha. What is it like having, like right now, like first off, what was it like having your kids work for you when we definitely weren't the best listeners? How did you handle that, and what kind of advice would you give other family businesses that have other family members working there?
Well, at the time that I started at Ridge Point, I knew everything. I've been in classrooms. I had been a mom. We homeschooled. Worked with, 70-something kids in a co-op while we were homeschooling. Always something. I had that piece. I had the excitement. I had the passion. But I had no business experience.
Yeah.
I had a lot to learn, and I was learning it like every day. I was so excited to be there. I'd get there like an hour early, and I wouldn't come home till like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. and my learning curve was huge. Now, I believe that you should work hard. We should work as a family to appreciate what we have. But honestly, if I had to do it again, at this point, I would have realized in a healthy way that you guys weren't ready for that at the level that I needed. You are social, you're, hey, everybody loves you, but, you know, as far as arriving on time.
Yeah, we sucked at that.
Arriving not on time and going directly to the refrigerator and eating for another hour.
Not to be clear, that wasn't me.
That was all of you from
That was not me. I always get lumped in with those guys. I always get lumped in. John, Joe, Jared, love you.
Okay, all right.
All good.
Okay, all right.
But
So
I will say every like I would not take a break. I would not stop to. But then like it would be like a 10, 20-second something that I would do. Like whenever I did like take my foot off the pedal of working hard for just a second, Miss Tonja comes rolling around the corner, whatever room I was in. What are you? You get on the ground and play with those kids and roll around and like.
It was
Mom,
hard.
I'm like, Mom, I assure you, I was just changing a diaper. I'm sorry. So, like,
They couldn't win for losing because I had a lot to learn.
Yeah.
I learned right before you got your other job and took off that you make a list, give it to you, and then walk away and let Miss Faye handle it.
Yes.
You do not be your child's or your other family member's direct supervisor.
So
Lisa calls it be in my own lane. Stay in my lane.
Yeah.
Let somebody else handle that.
Yeah. So kind of using kind of someone who you trust, but doesn't have that. I've known you your entire life since you were born, and when you did go to the fridge, when I wanted you to go change a diaper or go back to another classroom instead. It's not the 3 millionth time I've seen it in your lifetime. When you're supposed to go clean your room and you went to the fridge instead. When you're supposed to, you know.
I think I was so passionate about Ridge Point. And you guys were too. Here's a huge one. I learned that everybody needs the time to be the age they are in the developmental stage that they are. They need the time to experience that. You can't just rush the train. So you guys needed some guidance. You could have gotten it better mentoring, probably a better product, if you will. Not feeling like I was going to come around the corner and beat you up. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. So hey, you have a family business and it's working great for you. I'm going to call Chris Price from the Tribune. Let me know, and she will do a great story on you.
Yeah.
But if you haven't, and you would like to consider that, make sure that you work together with somebody that will help you create some guidelines, just like a regular employee, and that was always the goal. But I could not stay in my lane to treat them like regular employees. Let somebody else handle that for you, and you really have to behave your own self. Sorry, James.
It's all good. I was guilty of many things, but it was
not. Tough, but we didn't know when we were learning.
Yeah.
We were just learning and learning and learning.
Yeah.
So if you want to come back and work now, I got it down.
Oh yeah, I'm a much better qualified person to have around now.
A much better overseer.
Perfect.
Promise.
Because we'll have someone else overseeing, so it'll be good.
Yeah. And I trust you now.
There you go. So